give the floor to Esther De Lange from APP.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And since we're slowly coming to an end, and most questions on most the difficult and sensitive issues within ECON have already been asked, may I take a step back? And I noticed that the Commissioner-designate started her expose by saying that she worked on the issue of unfair trading practices. I think, Mairead, we both started in farming. And I think you showed that, you know, your command of a lot of issues is very, very broad, so compliments for that. But in these unfair trading practices, you have taken the side of the most vulnerable within this food production chain. And I think if I listen to the colleagues here, we want capital markets union, we want a banking union, we want banks to be able to operate across borders, but we are worried about the side effects that this might have on consumers. So following on from what I know is your drive to stand with the most vulnerable, when I look, for example, and I won't need a follow-up question, so that's why I take a bit more time here. When I look, for example, at the cryptocurrencies, you mentioned them. I see the recent proposal of the Eurosystem task force thinking about scenarios for creating a digital euro. I think most of us agree that that is necessary, but can you tell us how you would also work with us to protect consumers in these new developments? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for bringing me back to the farm. And the one thing, if you come from an Irish farm, which I did, you start working at about the age of 4 and you continue right through to this age. So I come from a very humble background. My parents were market gardeners. My mother was a very strong woman who believed in gender equality and lived it. And my father fully supported that. But they were hard-working, decent people. And in my politics, I want to make sure that hard-working, decent people who don't lobby very often, that their voices are heard. So my work on unfair trading practices in the food supply chain, in my view, must be a game changer around sustainability issues because we are pushing too hard on the producer level. So thank you for bringing me back home. I haven't been home in a couple of weeks and I'm now missing the green fields. In relation to the overall ethos of my proposition to you here today is to put a heart into financial systems and services because they're vital anyway, we know that. But they're not vital just on their own. They're vital because they provide the lifeblood, the energy, the oxygen to our economies, to our households. And they have to work for students. They have to work for SMEs. They have to work for people. Which brings me then to your bigger point, which perhaps we didn't deal with enough today, because I think the future we know is going to be very different than the past. We know that we are doing many things today on our phones that we didn't do in the past. My first mobile phone sat in the back of the car and was like a brick. So we've moved, technology has done wonderful things, but sometimes the rate of change leaves me breathless as to how we manage and regulate the risks. And I think on this we need to be really quick and really careful because there are huge risks. If you have instant movement of monies, whether it's through digital or otherwise, you can, and we've referenced, there can be fraud, there can be criminality. Individuals can lose out. We will, I think, see some quite dramatic changes in the structure of our financial system. We need to manage that, not allow it, if you like, go on its own path without understanding the consequences. And that's why my appeal to you as parliamentarians is that where you see issues and individual cases, no individual case is too small for us to know about in the Commission. I mentioned when my opening remarks that I like when I'm in the constituency to bring the issue back to the floor of the Parliament. So it makes Europe relevant. It also means that we do something with those issues that are raised. So on that particular point around cryptocurrencies, we really need to work collectively, Commission, Parliament and Council, to do the right things for a future which will, we've yet to see what the developments will bring, but we know that there are both opportunities, but there are obviously risks as well. Thank you.